Bronze and Modern Gods. It's John.
It's Richard.
I saw you adjusting your camera at the last
Yoink.
all that time to get ready, and you wait until I say three, two, one, and then you adjust your camera. I'm
Uh,
not. The drugs from the surgery have not made me grumpy, everyone. I swear. Hi, Richard.
Hi, John. How you feeling?
I'm okay. Thanks to everyone for all of the well wishes and all the nice notes and DMs. I'm fine. Uh, Modern science, medical science is really amazing. I haven't had a surgery or anything serious since I was 12 years old. So I was a little nervous, but man, I went in Friday morning. The anesthesiologist, I remember her saying, okay, this is just oxygen. We're not giving you anything yet. So I think she was lying. And then I woke up in the recovery room, and Friday, I was flying high, so I was fine. Saturday was a little rough, but I just laid around and relaxed. And I've been up walking and back to normal ever since Sunday
Great.
night. So yeah, I wanted to take it easy. So I apologize for not having a new show on time, but here we are.
Yep, we're here. We didn't go anywhere.
If you are new, you're probably wondering what the heck is going on. That's okay. We have things like underrated books of the week. We've got something we call the 25-year rule, where we go back to 1994. And of course, we have your questions and comments in a segment we call Viewer Mail. But first, it's the hot book of the week. Richard, it's all you. This is you, your book.
A hot book this week is Spider-Man number 194. It's the first appearance of Felicia Hardy, aka the Black Cat. Now, John says it's all me because I'm a huge fan of the Black Cat. J. Scott Campbell has done an amazing amount of work with her. One of my favorite covers is one of the ones that he's done. So rumors are swirling that Black Cat will appear in Spider-Man 4, the fourth movie. But who knows? I mean, we're playing this all by ear, and it seems to change on a daily basis.
And Sydney Sweeney, that's actually good casting. I
Yeah,
like
that'd be great casting. Yeah, the 90-day GPA average for a 9.8 is 23.92, which I find that's some good cheddar.
Yeah. That's way down from the comic boom of 2022, where you could get $4,368 for this book. And I had a newsstand, a 9.8, that I did sell for just about that amount. I think I sold it
Oh,
for $3,800 back then. I remember, I can't remember who you are. Please, I apologies if you're watching. It was a viewer that bought it from me from Elite underscore comics 11 and Elite Comics underscore 11. And he met me here because he was local for the
nice.
handoff at the Hustler Casino parking lot.
Did you just take the money and go right into the casino and try to double it?
No, but it was like, oh, yeah, here's some place I've never been and never will be again. I can confidently predict that. Strangely enough, a newsstand CGC 9.8 pulls in more for a 90-day average of $3,016 versus that 3,000 or versus 2,392. But here's what I find funny about it. This is at the birth of the direct market. This is right when the direct market started. So there are actually more newsstand copies of
Right.
this there versus direct copies. Now, do you think that's because the newsstand copies have more damage historically? They're harder than 9.8?
I think it's just the whole fallacy that newsstands are just by their nature rarer than direct market copies. Like you said, there's this crossover point where newsstands are going down and direct markets are going up, and the market doesn't seem to realize or recognize the fact that there is a point where newsstands aren't as rare as they seem to be.
I think
So.
1986 is the inflection point where it's 50-50, and then the newsstands decline from there. So just keep that in mind if this is something you
Mhm.
want. Some people they're just newsstandies. They love their newsies, man.
Yeah, and I have a copy of this book. It is beat all up. I not really looking to upgrade, but yeah, can't remember if this was part of the trash bag collection or not. I got a lot of books during that transaction, but if you have a copy of it, hold on to it. I mean, I think this is a good book to have, just a part of your permanent collection.
Two fun facts about this book. She was originally the Black Cat, meant to be a villainess for Spider-Woman.
Oh,
And then Marv Wolfman left that book and decided to take the Black Cat with him. So she never got a chance to be introduced into the Spider Woman mythos. Fun fact number two, while Al Milgrom drew the cover, this is inside art by Keith Pollard. Keith Pollard is the new Bruce Timm, is the new Dave Stevens.
you're going to make that work, aren't you?
I'm going to make it work. You guys can tell me to stop it if you're a member by supporting the show. You can tell us directly. What's being a member mean? Well, for the cost of just $2.99 per month, that's not a Starbucks, you can show your support and get some perks like Richard will tell you. Live member streams, Richard?
Yep, we get live member streams. We get extra show and tell episodes, shout outs in the future videos like
Here you are.
this.
Look. Look.
Beautiful list of members. Thank you so much, everybody on here. We appreciate everyone who becomes a member. It is something that we do not take lightly. If you don't become a member and just watch the stream all the way through to the end, we love that too.
And you
Subscribe.
help. I mean, we had to pay almost $500 for the StreamYard subscription for this year, this month. So you guys are really helping the show improve, and we will always try to improve for you. You want to join? Hey, real simple. Just click the join button on YouTube right next to the subscribe button. If you're not on YouTube, head on over there, and you can actually see us do this next segment we like to call Show and Tell.
Oh, is it going to get its own leading graphic now?
Yeah, why don't you get on that? I got to do everything. Show and tell. I have my modern submission back from CGC.
Okay.
I dropped it off at WonderCon, Friday morning of WonderCon. 3 weeks later, it is back in my hands. Am I happy? Am I, gosh darn it, they really screwed me over? No, no.
Okay.
I'll show you why. The first book I sent in because it's a scarcer book. It came out in 95 during the downturn when Marvel was having troubles, lots of last issues, lots of cancellations, and a classic cover from your man, Alex Ross, which features my favorite World War II characters from the Invaders, like Union Jack and the Destroyer and the Blazing Skull. And that is Midnight Suns Unlimited, number 9.
Oh, I've seen that cover before. Yeah.
Featuring the Ghost Rider of 1945, aka the Blazing Skull, and also for me a Legion of Night story by Steve Gerber, but came back a 9.6 white pager. I'm looking, it's a judgment call. This one I thought was a 9.8, and I'm looking. I see maybe the bottom right bump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying not to get it. There's just a
I
little
can see just a little bit of like a was that binder
fraying.
or-
They're being tough. I thought it was a bindery tear.
Mhm.
Not too upset. Well, first of all, I'm not too upset because I paid $4 for this book in Mexico
Mhm.
City. Um, not too upset, even though a 9.6 sold last month for $21. Um,
Jeez.
whereas a 9.8 sells for 200. But I just like the cover. This is something when I finally get my display together, this is one I
Mhm.
can see myself displaying.
Yeah,
So that is
that's
book
that's a
number
cover.
one. Yeah, you've seen this before?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. You don't have Nazis on here. You got an Iron Cross. That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Nazi paraphernalia on covers anymore.
we
So
sound we sound so disappointed.
that's true.
Aw.
Aw.
All right, what do you have?
Um, Carol and John's a comic book LCS here in the area. They've been around for a bazillion years. They're one of my favorite places to go browse. They were having a book sale this past weekend, 75% off all DC Golden Age, Silver Age books. So I went rifling through and picked out some really cool ones. Here's
Oh,
one.
this should be
Uh,
good. Love a good sale.
yeah, well, none of these are high grade. These are all
Oh,
meh grades. This one's even low grade. You can see the tape on it. This is Superman. I meant to look. Yeah, Superman 131.
wow.
Okay, it's beat up, but I bought it because look, you see Superman is there. You've got Superboy and Supergirl busting through the wall, acting a fool, and you've got a woman in a yellow dress with a white box around her face. And at
Who could it
first,
be?
who could it be? At first, I thought when I saw the cover, I thought the cover had been damaged. Somebody had, taken an X-Acto knife or something and cut it out. No, that's how the cover is printed. Her face right here is just a white square, which I found pretty intriguing because I've never seen that before. So I bought it basically because I wanted to find out what was going on.
Is it attached at the staples without the tape, you think?
No, it's totally.
Oh, it's loose. Oh, that's a good experimental book. I mean, that if you want to learn how to do tape removal and use your tack iron,
Yeah, there's
and
tons of tape on that spine.
I mean, that's also one for a light box experiment to see if you can
Mhm.
brighten it up. That you want to experiment with different ages of books, and that's a good golden age one.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
It's
you pay?
interesting. I paid it was $4, 75% off $4. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it wasn't anything, which is one of the reasons I wanted to buy it. It's got a Mr. Mitzelplick story, and that's how it starts off.
Mixiez
Um,
Pilic.
Never
Mixiez
could
Pilic.
pronounce his name correctly. But it's great. It's a great book. I forget to see what year is it? 1959. So a nice 1959 book, not in great shape, but Superman story. Um, I won't ruin the story for you if you haven't read it since 1959. But Superman is actually married because she's not. Lois Lane is not sure. She sees the future and she sees a woman and kids with Superman. She's not sure who it is. Is it her? And then she sees the woman is wearing a cape with an LL on it. And she
Well,
goes, "Oh, it is me." And then it turns out to be Lady Luck, as opposed to Lois Lane or Lana Lang. I thought was a possibility too,
I thought you
but
said no spoilers.
I decided to break my rule. Hey, if you haven't read a 1959 book by 24, you're out of luck.
Right there, right after no spoilers, I'm going to break the rule. All right. I'm not upset about this. I repeat, I'm not upset about this. I'm going to keep repeating myself to myself. I'm not upset about this until I believe it.
Okay.
I want you to look at this book. It is Amazing Spider-Man 301.
Oh yeah,
It is a
beautiful
nice
cover.
white page. Look at the bottom.
Oh, the microfiber paper, microchannel paper slipped out.
What do I do? Do I try to tap it in? Do I leave it? It's obnoxious. No, it's not going to move. It's there. It's stuck. So
Ah, that's bad on them.
now, is it a 9.6? Guys, this is where I ask you to stand in your truth and to be real honest with yourself. It's a 9.6. I thought it was going to be a 9.4. This is actually a little bit of a gift grade. If you look really close, I don't know if you can see it. You can see where I pressed out a
Mhm.
couple of the spine divots. They came out, but you can still see that they were there. They weren't color breaking, the barely perceptible color breaking actually. So it's a 9.6, but this annoys me.
Yeah,
Hello,
I would annoy me too.
do they still? I guess they still do micro chamber paper. I didn't. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, sticking out of the sides and the bottom.
Well, I guess I'm not surprised. Microchamber paper is there for those who don't know, supposedly to because paper exudes a gas over time, and that gas is acidic and it can cause the pages of the book to turn darker. And so that paper is supposed to absorb those gases and protect the book. Um,
I'm chuckling because I've been on Tylenol 3 after the surgery, and if anything exudes gas, it's somebody. It does a number on you. So do I return this, you guys? I was going to sell it. This is not my book. This was a book that I'm going to sell. So do I
mhm.
sell it at a discount and just say, hey, it's your decision, whatever you want to do, buyer, or do I return it for a mechanical error?
Well, if you turn it mechanical, you're going to have to pay shipping. So,
I don't want to pay shipping. I didn't make the mechanical error. You
mm,
made it. That's
yeah.
why I dropped it off because I didn't want to pay shipping. So let me know in the comments. It should be a heated debate. What do you have?
Next, I've got I'm going to pull a couple books here. They're Adventure Comics. Big fan of Adventure Comics. Big fan of Legion of Superheroes. These books, this is issue number 311 and 336. I just picked them because I love these Rogues Gallery covers,
Mhm.
right? This is something that they do all the time in the Legion. They have so many members to the Legion of Superheroes. And the thing is, when these things first came out, people were used to Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, singular characters, the Flash. This is a group of teenagers who all got together in the future, and they are fighting crime with very individual powers and individual personalities. It's just a really cool ensemble type of title. And here, again, you've got, and there's different backgrounds to both of these stories, but the big draw here to me is, you've got the portraits of all the different superheroes who are a member of the Legion on the cover here.
And Starfinger.
Yes, yes, I actually have another Starfinger over here somewhere. But yeah, this is the sweet spot for me when I got into comics. And as a 10-year-old, and my dad bought me a big stack of coverless or semi-coverless adventure comics, and I sat there and read them over and over and over again till they
Wow.
shredded. So this is the bread and butter to the young Richard who found an interest in comics.
Bread and butter. Uh, I'm not going to be upset about this. I'm not going to be upset about this. I'm not
Uh-oh.
be upset about this. It's another book from my CGC submission. It is Amazing Spider-Man 301, 9.6 white pager. Oh, look, they got the micro chamber right on this
Well,
one.
yeah.
The reason why I keep saying I'm not going to be upset is because the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8. A 9.6 sells for about $200. A 9.8 sells for about $1,600.
Yeah. Huge difference in that book.
And again, being brutally honest and candid with myself, I thought it was going to be a 9.4, 9.6. I thought maybe there's an outside shot at a 9.8. Not in this grading period, you guys. They're super tight right now.
Mhm.
So don't take those outside shots. But at least, this one, at least I can sell because the micro chamber paper is
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be. Mm,
I always
uh,
I always think that book gets a short shrift. 300 gets all the money, but this is almost the exact same cover that 300 has, and it's worth a fifth of what 300 is.
and a super unforgiving white cover. That
Yeah,
is the issue. It picks up every imperfection, and that's why 9.8 is super tough.
right. I just an update. I checked on. You had submitted a book for me for a reholder.
Yeah.
It's still scheduled for grading. It hasn't budged, and
Yeah.
so
My vintage that I had sent with this submission as well has been in grading and encapsulation for a week and a half now.
mm,
Now, the good news is I got an email saying, hey, we have to charge you more money because one of your books is going up a tier.
nice. Okay.
So I'm hoping because they charge me more money that I got a 9.8 expensive vintage book coming back. But Tom Petty said it best: the waiting is the hardest part. Uh, well, let's not wait to get to your viewer mail in a segment we call, strangely enough, Viewer Mail.
You've got mail.
Richard, my first piece of viewer mail comes from our buddy, the best Bob, as far as I'm concerned. He calls himself the second best Bob. He sent us a couple books and a t-shirt. Hey guys, glad you got my parcel. I totally forgot to include a cover letter, but John worked it out anyway. I figured Miracle Man was for you. I knew those t-shirt sizes were off, but I couldn't bring myself to send it a double XL. Bob, you're probably right. If I would have seen you sent me a double XL, I would have been slightly offended. But the fact that it fits and it's great, and you guys don't have to send us anything, honest.
No, yeah. That's
Just maybe
Thanks,
some
Bob. We appreciate it, but it's not necessary.
maybe some Tylenol 3.
Yeah,
Richard,
yeah. Get send John some bag of frozen peas or
I'm
something.
good. I haven't had to take anything since Monday morning, so
Excellent,
I'm
excellent.
good. What do you have?
My first piece of viewer mail is from Illusion 30 off of our favorite platform, YouTube. My latest CGC order got graded crazy fast. I sent in 48 modern books,
Whoa.
not fast track. That's a pretty princely sum. And they were received April 8th, and batches of 25 and 23 were shipped April 11th and April 15th, respectively. I've never seen anything like it. Wow, that is fast. Our friend Evan also had a shipment that just came. And it does. It seems like a revolving door. Um, just when it comes in, it goes right back out again. So moderns, it seem to be moving pretty quickly. It's the older books that they seem to be taking more time with in terms of grading.
Yeah, definitely that vintage that's been stuck there. My next piece of viewer mail comes to us from Zach Brobst, who writes, I was happy to pick up a copy of World of Wood, #1 this past weekend for $10. Zach. It's not a 9.8, but it's good enough for my shelf. I found it at Lehigh Valley Comic Con in Allentown, Pennsylvania. About 80% comic sellers, a respectable artist lineup, and only $10 at the door. Although one vendor not only refused to give me a discount, but he actually charged me sales tax. I was so surprised. I laughed, paid him, and moved on with my con. That's the good approach. Zach. You can't. Some people do have to collect sales tax. They've been audited before. They have business accounts. They're nervous. One way to get around that: pay them cash. I
Yeah.
find cash is king. If you're Richard and you carry around $3,500 with you,
Not on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis. No, cash is king. If you pull out a whole stack of 20s and you look meaningfully at a seller, it definitely will draw attention, and you can get some leeway that way.
go ahead.
My last piece of viewer mail is from Steve Levinsky, who's also a member.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Hey guys. Richard's observations about Fan Expo in Ohio were consistent with my experience in Dallas. We went to the Fan Expo Dallas in 2022 because my husband wanted autographs from the Hobbits,
Mm.
which took him 2 days of standing in line for 4 autographs. Bleh.
Mm.
I found some comic book dealers, but since then, I found them at the cozier, more comic oriented shows around town. Not to mention, the Dallas Convention Center is aesthetically pleasing as a correctional facility. Oh, with Fan Expo, you're paying a rich ticket price for the opportunity to get autographs and photos with celebrities. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're not paying for, um, definitely not paying to frequent the comic book sellers there. You're paying for that access to those people, and potentially you're paying for the cosplay. If you're a big cosplayer, there was a large number of people there in costume, and I applaud that. I mean, if you want to go around and dress as your favorite anime character, and show off your skills and being able to make costumes, that's amazing. And this was a great platform to be able to do that. Me, I just wanted books, and there was a shortage of dealers there selling books, and so to me it was a disappointment. To other people, they may have gotten their money's worth out of it between the cosplaying and the signatures, but for me it was kind of a bust.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of local shows. I love me a good VFW show.
Yeah.
No, I miss those in Ohio, especially. There used to be one right there in the VFW in Westlake, Ohio,
Mhm.
one of the best ones. I miss in LA, the Shrine. They used to have a show here at the LA Shrine, and it was nothing but funny books. I miss those shows. I try to. I think there's one here called Near Mint Sundays that happens every quarter that I try to go to. That's very calls back to those days. Those days in the '90s of 25 years ago, with local VFW shows where you could sell your extra copies of Excalibur. It's the 25-year rule. Remember when Excalibur was actually a hot book, issue 1?
Yeah. I bought it from issue 1. I was totally excited about it.
Do you think Excalibur is gonna come back with the, all the X-Men relaunches happening?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Oh, well, let's talk about this thing. It's Solo #1 from
This
Marvel, 1994. Look at this thing. First of all, Richard, I want you to describe the amount of effort that went into that logo.
Okay, I don't know if anyone who's seen the whole, um, font saga on SNL where the people are using the papyrus font.
Yes.
Um, this looks like somebody went into Photoshop and picked the first, sans serif font that they could find
Indeed.
and slapped
It's
it on the cover.
literally white. I mean, there's not even any color involved or any
Yeah.
effort. This was the first solo miniseries for the Spider-Man creator, co-created by David Michelinie and Mark Silvestri. I did not know that. I thought Eric Larson
Um,
co-created this because he came back in the Eric Larson run of Amazing Spider-Man, but no, he was actually first appeared in Web of Spider-Man number 16 when Mark Silvestri was drawing it. I had no idea. This miniseries was by writer Eric Fine and drawn by Ron Randall, which kind
mhm.
of took me by surprise. Ron Randall drew this? Of course, you can see who's playing a guest star here. I don't know if you can see in the background there, that big Spider-Man mask is sort of a hint who's guest starring in this miniseries. Uh, Solo was an anti-terrorist mercenary. While terror lives, Solo dies. What was this catchphrase?
I never read this.
Something like that. What struck me about this miniseries, 1994. This came a time after the big comic book crash of '93, so titles were getting canceled left and right. Yet they went ahead with a solo miniseries. I wonder if this is Marvel just trying anything to hold on to their market share. Uh, this book is nothing, honestly. The eBay raw sales are around $4. I never seen a CGC sale that's been documented for this book. Um, Solo, not the most creative character from the logo to the costume.
To the it seems like the generic superhero. You're making a role-playing game about superheroes, and you need a superhero for the cover of the role-playing, book. You need something generic that's Solo. That's exactly who this guy is.
You're a kid, you're designing the costume, so he's got to have pouches. I want pouches around his calves. I want pouches around his thighs. I want to make sure that he has a bandolier of hand grenades that an enemy can easily grab during hand-to-hand combat. I want him, he should have a sword that goes in
Yeah.
the back, kind of like Deadpool or Shatterstar, plus a couple of guns and lots of leather strappy things. Just
Yeah.
there can't be too many leather strappy things. Add those,
He
please.
he checks all those boxes. This guy is made for a 12-year-old. Yeah, absolutely.
But he's Marvel's one-man anti-terrorist strike force.
Oh, nothing like a one-man army corps?
Yeah, where were you in 2001, buddy? We needed you then. Oh, hey, let's move on to our underrated books of the week. Richard, you are in a DC Golden Age frenzy.
I am. I really think DC, especially the Golden Age, is so underrepresented in people's speculation. I picked Superman number 59 from 1949. This is the first use of heat vision.
Really?
Yep. It also has another appearance of Mxyzptlk.
All right.
Um,
Let go.
yeah. This is a 10 center. I really feel that these Golden Age books are so criminally inexpensive right now. You can buy this book raw, just from 1949. It's a Golden Age title, number 59 of Superman, for under $200 for a decent copy. Um, and it turns out it's not alone when it comes to DC Golden Age and early Silver Age. Everything but the big keys like Superman 1, Action 1, the first Mr. Freeze, all the keys, they're bargain basements, and sellers are motivated to deal
Mhm.
if you're looking for books that aren't the big sellers. To me, it's just like pre-code horror. Someday these books may come to have a value, and people who take advantages of the lulls now, and it's been for a long time. There has not recently been a DC frenzy in terms of the collecting market as there been with Marvel, But things come and go, and picking up a copy of this for $150, may in the future pay off. But if nothing else, these are great stories, and it's a different mindset. There's different sensibilities. Superman was very, very straight laced, and not a whole lot of nuance in the character in these early books. But it's a great story. It's a fun story. It was made to entertain, unlike a lot of comics nowadays. And if for nothing else, you know, the stories themselves, deserve an opportunity to be read by future generations. So preserve these books and keep them going.
I can't believe it took 10 years for Heat Vision to be debut in his title. It seems to me like it would be something that did fairly earlier than that.
Mhm.
I also things about I like about this cover, Superman's middle age spread.
Yeah, he's a little chesty there. Yeah, Superman needs
He-
Metamucil maybe.
He's got to cinch himself, I think. And I love that, just randomly juggling some accountants on the
Yeah,
cover.
he's juggling the books.
Yeah, he's cooking the books. Uh, Interesting. Yeah, these Superman titles, you see them at shows, and they just kind of clog the bins. And maybe when the movie comes out, the new movie, people will get inspired to go back. I
Mhm.
wonder if public domain is going to affect collecting Superman.
That's a good question. That's a very, very good question. I don't know what the trademark for Superman. Disney protected themselves quite well with Mickey Mouse. I don't know if DC has the wherewithal to protect themselves to
Well,
the same degree.
Mickey's still running around Savage Dragon sexually assaulting people, so
Yeah, yeah, he is.
uh, yeah. Let's move on. I think it's we move on to my underrated book this week, which is Jughead number 32 from 1992. Richard, look at this cover. It is from Jughead's solo title from the 90s, and
Hmm.
it's an homage to Avengers number 4, first appearance of Captain America in the Silver Age.
Yep, yep. Even the girl is spinning her wrist around like Thor, and yeah,
Mhm.
it's a great cover. Great
And,
cover.
and where the Submariner is on the Avengers 4 cover, you have Sarah Bellum.
That's a great name. It
I'll just
actually is a great name.
let you all pause and take that in. This is from the era, of course, the 90s, where Jughead was updated to be totally extreme. He has a mohawk underneath his little cap now. He has a skateboard. He's wearing, flannel shorts. He's probably listening to Alice in Chains. Yeah, I don't think he's listening to Nirvana or Mudhoney. I don't think
No, you don't think so?
no, it's more Collective Soul, more Bush. I think Jughead's into Bush. Uh,
Okay,
but
I could see that.
not the second Steve Albini produced album. That's too raw. He likes that slick first Bush record with Glycerin.
Well, you
Uh,
put a lot of thought into this. This is amazing.
I put a lot of thought into people's musical taste. I judge you based on your musical taste. I shouldn't, but I do. Um, no copies of this currently on eBay. I have no idea what this is worth.
Hmm.
No CGC comps. Does I just assume people don't know about this homage cover? I assume people don't give a crap. Perhaps. Maybe after this, some copies will surface. I do know this is the period when Archie, as a company, started using recycled paper. So
Uh-huh.
this is printed on recycled paper, and I know the stock is not the best.
Mhm.
So high grade copies of this are probably tough. Just an interesting book. I just happened to randomly stumble across, and I went, "That's an Avengers 4 swipe,"
Yeah.
and I'd never seen it before, so I thought I would point it out.
Yeah, it's funny how the Archie characters over time had to morph because, you can only be a teenager for so many decades before you got to age out. So, they updated the characters and their quirks and things over time. Jughead originally was just a slouch. He just a layabout. And now he's like you say, he's out here on a skateboard and he's doing energetic things and still can't open his eyes.
No,
But other than that, he's really moving.
they can't win for losing. They update them, we tease them for updating them. They don't update them, we tease them because Archie still has a chessboard on the side of his head, and he still wears a Letterman sweater. They can't win for losing, so why not go for it? But just an interesting one that I thought we should point out.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to keep it short. I got to take care of myself, you guys. I apologize for the short show, but getting back to normal a little bit more each day. We will not have a members only episode this week. Apologies, but we will have a live stream on Thursday. So we will see you members then, and we'll see everybody else next week.
All right. Everybody, stay safe.
Yeah.